She is a psychologist, educationist, and she has been enlightening our listeners every week on topics related to psychology and sociology. And today, Shyrose will be talking about strong women in the religion of Islam, and she's relayed a lot of examples of their womanhood and their empowerment. So over to you, Shyrose.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me. In the interest of time, I'll try to be fast, but hopefully we can continue this topic because I've realized, we don't really hear about strong women in religion that often. And when we look at it, there are great examples in Islam and in the Holy Quran, the book of that the Muslims follow. And since I'm a Muslim and I've studied Islam, I thought it'd be interesting to share with the listeners about some of these examples. One of the most beautiful examples we do have is of that of Lady Mary, the mother of Jesus. And we also find that her story is described in detail, and the courage of the mother of Prophet Moses and the sister of Prophet Moses, as well as the strength of Lady Asiya, who was the woman, the lady who brought up Prophet Moses, and she brought him up in a very dangerous environment, in great danger from her husband and tyrant, the Pharaoh. So, and it's very interesting to note that the most powerful and influential women in the 6th century in Arabia have emerged from none other than the very household of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sorry, if you remember in previous shows, I had talked about how female empowerment, when there are support systems in place to facilitate their growth. And I spoke about the importance of men who have been traditionally gatekeepers to power and resources, and they must be in the right place to support and champion for women's rights. And so when we've got fathers and brothers and males in society who are concerned for women's emancipation, then great things can happen. As we saw with Islam, this was a religion that was giving women the right to really liberate themselves. And so we find Prophet's home were the women who could truly show their confidence. And they did this with the hijab on. They were able to speak up, to teach, have a voice. The wife of the Holy Prophet herself was a very wealthy woman and an astute merchant. She was a self-assured businesswoman. She had fleets of caravans and Arabian horses of pedigree, and she was an administrator. She had a colossal workforce, and he, in fact, used to work for her. And another interesting thing about her strength is that she was strong enough as a woman to propose to him herself. And so we find that in terms of strong women, not only was his wife a strong woman, but so was his one and only daughter, Lady Fatima. And she followed in her mother's footsteps as a truly formidable woman in her own right. She was, with her coming of age, she became, the home of the Holy Prophet became an institution of learning. And the women of Medina would flock in great numbers to be educated and trained by this young lady of the house. She was able to read and write. She was a known scholar who, under the supervision and training of her father, she taught the women not only the tenets of the faith, but also guided the women on the rights accorded to them by Islam. And history shows us that the Prophet would welcome his veiled daughter to gatherings, and he would consult with topics. He would give her a very honorable place in the gathering to sit at, and often he would direct queries addressed to him to be referred directly to his knowledgeable daughter. And I just want to end, because I know we're running out of time, with this amazing, interesting fact of her life. Lady Fatima, she was a fervent advocate for the rights of women, just like her father was. And an ironic turn of historic events, it saw her fighting for her own right to inherit her father's land after his death.
That's so interesting, Shyrose.
She fought for rights for women. It's pretty amazing.
That is so interesting that women of Islam have also been women of empowerment, and we are going to continue this talk. Shyrose has always to offer us lots and lots of good stuff, and Shyrose has also been recognized as a woman of empowerment by Radio prpLearning. And at this, I will take a leave. Sarah Bukhari, see you next Sunday, Radio prpLearning. Good night. Sleep tight.
Listening to CMR FM 101.3.